Question number 2 is, we are looking to serve more parents through social media, through websites. What are some things that you would include to help serve parents? And so I would make sure that you have, whether it's on your website or on your, or you're doing a, photos on your Instagram of book recommendations. You may not be able to do a lot necessarily for parents because they're busy and they're looking for those quick things that they can do to be able to be empowered to help parent their kids, to disciple their kids. And so I would say put out a list of books. I would do top 10 books, and then I would roll that out. Like I said, on your website, links to Amazon, to Amazon, maybe make a few dollars for your youth ministry if you're an Amazon affiliate, and be able to recommend these 10 books and then, add to it or swap books out for better books. Or, you could offer, small groups based on a book somewhere, on your in social or other places. Why not have random meetups and say, hey, we're going to talk about chapter 1 of this book we've recommended, and here's our times. And that you as a youth pastor then can say, hey, we're gonna meet, find the location of where a lot of your parents work, if there's a cluster of them, and say, well, there's a Starbucks there. How about we meet for lunch? And I just kind of share a few ideas and a few thoughts from the book that we're reading, right? Or it's just a meetup, a lunch meetup amongst parents. So you just kind of put it out there, hey, I'm going to be at so-and-so. I'm going to be at Panera or Starbucks or some fast food restaurant or somewhere near there, and use your budget to do lunches and just say, hey, I'm going to do some meetups. So I'd put scheduled meetups. You can call them small groups, but small groups has the connotation of this. We're going to spend a lot of time going in depth into the Bible and so forth, versus saying, we're just going to meet up for lunch. That's a small group. If you have 3 parents show up, well, that's a small group. If you meet for lunch once a week or once a month, well, that's still a good small group because you're saying this is what we're going to do. And it's available to them. You're providing the resource. Now, whether parents take advantage of those resources, you can say, these resources here are available. Did you read any of the books? Have you been to any of our lunches? And new people especially can look at it and say, wow, they're offering something to parents. Another thing you do is website suggestions, maybe YouTube channels, the church's YouTube channel, that if you're the youth pastor, you can create videos, or somebody can do a whole family series and create content, or do live things where you're out on the street, just doing a quick little shout out for parents. So yeah, if you do websites, like I said, YouTube channels, those kind of things will be helpful. Other Instagram channels that may be interested in. Another thing is you can put on there, once again, social, website, all the places, print, family devotions. You could have, you as a youth pastor could write family devotions. And all you would have to do is take whatever you taught at youth and break it down into 3, devotions, or take the same message you did and just put it up there and say, hey, here's a family devotion. There's 10 questions. Maybe you don't have, maybe you're just speaking. Maybe you're just, it's a preaching message, but you could always take that content and turn it into a devotion that parents can share with their kids, right? It's not something that they read separately. It's something they read in the car on the way to school, on their drive to vacation, wherever they're driving to sporting events. You can, make it audio. Why not make it downloadable where it's something you listen in the car? Hey there, ministry coach. Good to see you. Glad you're here. I do this every Wednesday. Get on here, do office hours. And so appreciate Ministry Coach. You want to go ahead and follow Ministry Coach. Has great videos. I've included their videos quite often in my newsletter. So I'll put their videos in there and send it out to my folks because it's good content, folks. So yeah, be sure to check out Ministry Coach and all the videos that they have over there. But yeah, as far as, once again, ministry resources for parents are always there. I mean, if you have a social media calendar, for lack of a better term, that you say, look, I know we're going to put all this out on the website. We're going to put it on social. We're going to do these things. And yeah, you have to prepare those. That's just part of it. That's just part of youth ministry, is not just prepping youth, but actually ministering to parents. Another thing is, like I said, family devotions. I would make an appointment, right? Why not have an open standing, like either on your website, have one of those things where you could leave a voice message, or a Calendly where a parent could say, hey, I would love to have an appointment, right? And I know that youth pastors get nervous about appointments because we're usually in trouble for something. Why do I have an appointment? I have to ask, what is this about? What is this concerning? I don't know if I want to have an appointment with you. But yes, have an appointment so that a new parent who comes to your website or sees you on social, hey, I would love to have a 5-minute conversation. Sure, let's do it over Zoom. Let's do it, through other means. There's everything's on the table. And you say, I would love to have a conversation with you about your youth ministry. Well, why not have parents block time on Calendly and say, hey, here's this time. I would love to, just talk about the youth ministry. And then you need to have obviously a prepared something that you would go over with new parents, or you create a new parent and say, hey, we're doing it on this date. All new parents can join the Zoom or something like that. So also, you want to be able to, have something where you ask a question and just address it to parents and say, hey, parents, do you have a question? And let them be able to submit that question through the website, or it's a Instagram post, or it's a YouTube video, and you're putting it out there. Parents, what questions do you have about the youth ministry? What questions do you have about raising teenagers? What questions do you have about this or that? Now, listen, if you're a young person and you don't have teenagers, that's okay. You can still come up and be able to consult and say, look, I don't know the answer to this question. Talk to your volunteers that do have kids. Talk to people in your church that have kids. Hey, I got this question. Interview them. Do a small little interview on Instagram. Say, hey, I got this question. What can you join me? Can you come on camera with me and say, what's your idea of this? Now, of course, you want to vet that, because you don't want to just pop right out. You don't know what they're going to say. You want to check what they're going to say, because you want to make sure it's going to be good, because it's going on your social and it's going on, everywhere. So you want to make sure that have prepared things like that, where you say, look, I want to be able to share with parents who have questions about the youth ministry, or about raising teenagers, or about cultural things, whatever that is, you have lots of opportunities to do that. And so, yeah, I would say, look, you have lots of opportunities to minister to parents. Like I said, through social, through your website, through whatever channels you may have. Just take advantage of it.